I wanted to make a video on how I'm able to guarantee my ecom clients a 3x plus ROAS, return on their ad spend, when I'm spending $10,000 per day, but also how am I able to keep this consistent all year round, so remain profitable all year round. So if you're building a dropshipping store, or if you have an e-commerce store and you're kind of hitting a limit where you can't scale past it, this is kind of what I've done with this brand, and this is what I do with multiple brands and helping them scale. Okay, so you can see here, right, spending $10,000 in a day, 3.2 ROAS, right? So that's about $32,000 in revenue from this store. Now, this is split across multiple campaigns. Now, before you start thinking this is a specific advertising strategy, actually there's a lot that goes into this before you even get to the ads, right? So the first thing that I do is I analyze the brand, I analyze their products, and I analyze their product pages, making sure that people are actually going to buy from their store, because there's two reasons why you're not able to scale your store. The first one is you've got a very, very bad landing page, a very, very bad website. And the second reason is because you've got a very, very bad customer support. You've got a very, very bad or unloyal customer base, customer audience that doesn't come back and doesn't keep buying your products, right? Now, the customer base is probably the most important one to fix, but it's kind of like slightly harder to fix. So we start to focus on the top of funnel stuff first, and then we focus on actually building the business and the brand properly in a way that means when we buy a customer, when a customer comes in, we know that customer is going to come back 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So it doesn't matter really how much it costs to acquire that customer. And that's kind of like the ideal goal and where you want to get to. So the first thing I do, and this, for example, is the brand that I was working with that spent 10 grand a day was a skincare brand, right? So that's what I'm using here as an example. This is basically for acne, okay? So the first thing I do is I have a look at their landing page, and then I go ahead and have a look at the market and I see what is it that people want a solution for, what problems do they have, and how can we help offer a solution to the problems, right? So if you have a look at the comment section on these videos, so I just searched I hate my skin, right? And I just click the top video. All we're looking for here is a video that's gone viral because it's got a lot of comments and we can see what the audience is talking about. So for example, dad makes fun of my face, it hurts so bad, I'm tired of it, it hurts, it's draining, it's emotionally draining, my skin will never be clear. All of these things are reasons why people want to get rid of acne, right? And these are all internal struggles that they have that they want to then purchase a product that's going to solve those problems, okay? Now there's two sides to this, because the first side is these are the problems that need to be solved. And then there's the side of it is what have they bought before that didn't actually solve the problem, and how can we use that to our advantage? So this part, we take this information and then we weave it through the landing page, right? And I write advertorials. So you shouldn't have just a basic product page. You should have a product page on Shopify is fine, but when you write your product description, you should write an advertorial. And I've got a free course and a free training I'm doing where I'll teach you exactly how to do this and build a long-term sustainable e-commerce brand. So if you have an e-commerce store and you're scaling that e-commerce store, you can click up here somewhere, I think it's up here, there is a card that will come out and you go ahead, join my free live training. You can also get a free course as well, which will teach you some stuff in the meantime until I'm there on that live training. But basically, you can see here these statements that I've taken, right? Tired of acne, tried everything, or emotionally drained. These three statements are three things that I took directly from the comment section of that video. So now I know when somebody comes in from an ad, right, the first thing they see is this statement, which means it instantly relates to them. They instantly know that what I'm talking about is going to help them or is related to them. The second statement that I have here is a sales pitch, essentially, on to hook them in and keep them reading, okay? So we were selling a natural remedy, right? So I say this weird natural remedy clears scars in days, so there's a time frame, it's a very, very quick solution with 0 chemicals on medication, okay? So you need to pre-qualify your audience before they come into your landing page by saying to them, look, we are... Or for example, right, I hate my skin, right? This video here would show a natural cream that she's putting on or some natural solution, right? And there would be a hook to try and get as many views as possible. Maybe it would make it a little bit controversial or whatever, right? Maybe she puts mud over her face. The point is you want to get the views and you want to highlight there is a natural solution to acne and show before and after. Then when somebody comes onto your website and they read this, they're more keen to keep on reading because you've automatically targeted the audience of people who you're looking for, who are looking for a natural remedy but also have acne. So this is the first most important thing on every single landing page. You should have a clear statement at the top. The second thing is making sure that you're not just calling out specific features. So I like to do this by telling a story. And an easy way to come up with a story is, well, there's two things you need to do. One is pretend you're in the position of that customer and write it from the position or point of view of that customer. So for example, right, this person said, dad makes fun of my face, right? Whether or not this is a true story, it doesn't really matter. But the point is you can use this as a basis for a story. Alternatively, you can write in a way that you say you are somebody who has struggled from acne and you have then tried everything. So I typically start off with something like that. Like I remember when I was 14, going to the dermatologist, looking for a solution for acne. And the good part about this is you can say, i.e. that character or that avatar, tried product X, which is a product that people have already tried that doesn't get results. It worked very, very quickly, but then as soon as I stopped using it, the acne came back worse. So then I tried this new natural solution, okay? And that's kind of the idea. You want to take that customer through a journey to really sort of have the epiphany that your product is better than everything they've ever tried, and this is going to solve all of their problems. So that is like the conversion rate optimization aspect of it. The second thing that you need to do is make sure that when somebody buys from your store, they're going to come back and buy again. Now, the reason we do this is twofold. One, when you're in especially if you're running ads and you're advertising for your brand, right? So if you've got a brand right now and you're advertising, you will find that there will be a lot of people advertising in the same niche, okay? So especially if you're in beauty niche, it's an incredibly expensive niche to be advertising in. So what you need to make sure is you can actually compete with the amount of money that you spend, okay? And what do I mean by this? Well, essentially, let's say you're selling a product for $50, right? That's quite low, but let's say selling it for $50. What you need to make sure is if your break-even cost per purchase is $25 or $30, 25 is probably more likely, you need to make sure that you can spend more than $25 to acquire that customer. In other words, you can lose money to acquire that first customer because you know once that customer actually stays and buys a product, they're going to have such a good experience, they're going to come back and buy some of your other products. Okay, so you never really have a one product niche store. That was like something that worked years ago. It's very, very hard to get that working now with just rising ad costs. It's very, very hard to scale something like that. So essentially what you're doing is you're building a brand, okay? You're building a store that sells multiple products. One of the ones I use as an example is this brand here, okay? They sell soap, okay? But the point is, they sell their products are very, very cheap, right? But let's say you're choosing to sell one of these gift bundles, okay? Now you know when somebody buys your product that they're going to like that product, okay? So you know that they're then likely to come back and purchase. But the biggest thing that most people fail with here is they are not able to achieve this because, for two reasons. One, well, they don't really risk it enough, but also two, when somebody buys from their store, they basically treat that as customer gone, burn and churn the customer. They treat that as somebody's come into my store, they've bought this product, I no longer need to actually deal with this customer, okay? That is it. I send the customer the product and that is it. And the reality is that used to work maybe 6 to 10 years ago, but it doesn't work anymore because you need to make sure that when somebody buys from your store, they're going to come back and purchase again, right? So think about Amazon, for example. When you buy from Amazon, and guys, I'm running out of time in this video, but I will go through this in a lot more detail in the free training, which is linked down below. But when you buy from Amazon, you know if you want to cancel your order, you can cancel your order. If you want to get a refund, you can get a refund. If you want to know the tracking information, you can go onto their website and find the traffic information, right? You know if you want to order, I don't know, but the point is, right, you know that they're going to treat you correctly, right? You know there is very, very, very little risk from buying from Amazon. But when you buy from a store like this, as a customer, you don't know whether that person or whether this brand is going to support you as a customer, right? So if you can show your customers when they're coming to your store that they are going to receive a level of support that they would not receive anywhere else, they're much more likely to actually buy from you, right? And you can do this in a few ways, like showing reviews and testimonials that people have bought from you before and had a happy experience, but everybody does that. One thing that you can do to sort of stand out is have an obvious contact page. But what I like to do is set one up on the homepage so people can actually get instant answers to their questions. They know that when they buy the product, they can come in and they can get support, right? So you either put your contact information on the actual product page or you actually have a support portal that you build. And that's basically what I spend a lot of my time doing, is building support systems for these big brands. So what happens is, right, and I can use Gymshark as an example here, when you come onto the Gymshark store, right, one of the first things you're greeted with is this chatbot in the corner. So if I want to return my items, there's a whole load of information about how I can actually get returns. They've got an entire support hub that I can then read to get access to this information, right? So when I'm buying from them, I know if I want to get a return, I can get a return. I can see how recently this was updated. I can see all the information that I need. Although I may not need this now, what happens is when you buy ads, when you bring a customer to your store, the first thing they do is they go and research and they find out about your brand, okay, before they purchase. And if they don't know, if they don't see that they're going to get a good feedback from you, they're going to get a good service from you as a business, there's much greater risk to buy from you. So no matter how good your product is, you're losing customers on the front end just by not having a proper support system. The second thing is also, once that person's bought and they have a good support system and they then come back and buy again, you can do things like, I'm going to give you 20% off discount because your name's Amber, right? Once they come back and buy again, you've basically got that customer locked in for life, okay? If you can get a customer to buy twice from your store, they will probably buy 5 times, 10 times, 15 times. So here, I'm able to get 3 ROAS for a couple of reasons. One, I'm able to retarget people on my website, which brings up my ROAS a little bit. Two, I'm able to know that my conversion rate is going to be greater than my competition because I've built a landing page which is specifically designed to target their pain points, which means I'm going to get a higher return on my ad spend anyway. So my cold traffic is going to be a minimum of a 2.5 ROAS to a 3 ROAS. But to actually go over that, I know that when I acquire a customer, I can bundle products together, or I can upsell products. And what I usually do with brands like this to get the high ROAS right on the offset is I bundle products together. I do product recommendations, right? And there's AI tools out there to recommend products, right? And I set a lot of these up for them. But the point is, if you have a customer base that can keep on coming back and buying from you, as you continue to scale your brand and continue to scale your revenue, those ads will start to also reach an existing audience, right? You'll start to cultivate an audience of people who know your brand, who have bought from your brand or have seen your brand before, and they have also seen great testimonials about the brand. And also the other thing, which is a sort of side point here, is if you've got a good brand and you send products out to people and they get a good service, and then if they need refunds, they can get a refund, or you can send them a replacement product. But more importantly, that customer can get answers from your business incredibly quickly. Then they will share your product on social media. They will tag you, which allows you to use that in your marketing, which makes better ads, which means they convert better because it shows more trust and proof. But also, they're basically organically marketing it for you as well. And when somebody who is looking to buy from your brand goes and looks at your brand's social media, they can look at on Instagram, for example, the tagged posts. They can see that other people have ordered products as well, okay? For example, right, when we go onto Gymshark, we can see they've got a load of tagged images, right? So we know that these people have all bought from Gymshark. They've actually all received their products. All of these people are happy. This is an established brand. We are willing to trust this brand to buy from them. But if you don't give your customers a good experience, right, and if you don't, answer their questions quickly, or deal with their support tickets quickly, or have like a customer support team in place, or at least a customer support system in place, right from the second you start, these customers that you're bringing in right now are not only never going to come back, they're not going to promote your products, they're not going to send you feedback from the products, they're not going to send you photos of them using the products that you can then use in marketing, but they can also tear your business down by submitting bad reviews or bad feedback to Facebook ads, right? So whether you're starting out or whether you're trying to scale your e-commerce business, I'm assuming that you're watching this video because you currently have an e-commerce brand, right? But whatever position you're in, you should prioritize actually building brand loyalty. And that is basically it. If you can build brand loyalty, it doesn't happen overnight, right? This is like a sort of 3 to 6 month thing, but we're trying to build an e-commerce business that we can actually make consistent amount of income from every single month for multiple years. You need to make sure that you build brand loyalty right from the start. So to take away from this, if you have just started an e-commerce business, the first thing that you need to do is set up some sort of system, customer support system, to allow your customers to actually get instant replies to any problems that they have. If you are scaling your e-commerce business, you need to do an analysis of your business and also make sure that you are, targeting specific pain points like I showed you in that advertorial. And if you want to know how to write these advertorials and do all of this stuff, come to my live training because I will teach you exactly what. And then obviously you want to build brand loyalty. So I hope this video helped a little bit. Hopefully it sort of opened your eyes a little bit to some of the things that you've been missing when you've been trying to scale your e-commerce brand. If you guys have got any other questions, leave them down below in the comments.